Hi there, Neil from Small Business Big Ideas here with day 30 of my 101 Days Small Business Marketing Tips Challenge. Today is a bit of a biggie. I could spend a long time talking about this because it's Facebook advertising. I imagine this will be of interest to a lot of people. As I say, I could take a long time to cover this in massive amount of detail, but I'm probably not going to because it really is such a mammoth topic. Another reason why I'm not going to, and this is something that I've learned myself just the other day, I'm uploading these videos to Facebook and also to LinkedIn, and something that I learned was that LinkedIn will only allow you to upload a video if it's less than 10 minutes in length. And if it's more than 10 minutes in length, you have to just paste in the link to YouTube or wherever you're hosting it. But doing that will get you much lower levels of engagement than if you actually upload it and it's classed as native, which means it's hosted and can be viewed within the platform. So wherever possible, I'm going to try and keep these videos under 10 minutes for that very reason. So, back to Facebook. Where do I start? I'm talking to you in early March 2018. So obviously, what I'm saying now applies to this period in time. Back end of 2017, Facebook announced that they were changing the way that their algorithms worked, which would have a detrimental effect on how business pages posts appeared in people's news feeds. What they said was they wanted to get Facebook back to how it used to be, which was more about friends and family and not about business. Lots of businesses are now running around panicking, thinking the sky's falling in, and absolutely there have been it's been quantified that far fewer business organic posts are showing up in people's news feeds. Some people think that's a good thing, some people think it's a bad thing. I know that personally I've had friends who said they were sick and tired of seeing business related posts on Facebook, so they were going to take a break from it. And I think it's that sort of a person who Facebook are trying to win back. So what that means is, before this announcement was made in the back end of 2017, if you put a post on your business page and you had a few hundred people who liked that page, or even a few thousand, less than 1% of the people who liked your page would ever see it. And that's before these changes. And I think that surprises a lot of Facebook business page owners, because Facebook in a way were a bit misleading years ago, because they encouraged everybody to gain likes and encourage people to spend money to get likes for their page. Then they sort of pulled the rug on that for a little while, and over the years the engagement with business page posts has been steadily falling. And really, if you think about it, you can understand why. If someone likes your business page, they're probably going to like several more. There's only limited sort of space in the news feed, so if every business is just putting one post out a day, there simply isn't enough space for everybody's post to be visible. So Facebook's algorithm tends to know what you like and what you respond to, so it serves up what it thinks you're going to appreciate. So even before these changes, chances of getting your organic business post to be seen were pretty low, which has caused many people to look at ways to increase the engagement through throwing some money at it. Now, for a lot of small businesses, the easiest way to do that, and Facebook really encourages you to do that, is through boosting that post. So you do a normal post on your business page, and then there's a little blue button which says boost the post. There are always going to be exceptions, but my advice and the advice of people who are expert in this is not to do that. There are a number of reasons for that. Firstly, your targeting and analysis options are severely limited in boosting a post versus if you go in through the Facebook ads platform and actually create an ad. And secondly, and I think this is the most important one, if you boost a post, then essentially you're saying to Facebook that you will pay them some money if your post gets engagement, likes and shares. So Facebook, because they're quite clever, realise that the more likes and shares they get, the more money they get. So therefore, they will put that ad in front of people who they know are habitual likers of posts. They may not be your target audience particularly, but if they've got a history of just liking stuff, Facebook will serve it up to them. So you'll be charged, and it isn't the best way to increase your reach. The best way to increase your reach and engagement is to actually pay for ads using the ad platform, but that is quite a steep learning curve. Before I get into that, there is another method that I know a lot of small businesses, especially sort of in the trades, plumbers and handymen and carpet cleaners and all the rest of it, do have success with, and that is with the local Facebook, the local buy and share and free stuff groups. Each town will have one, sometimes particular suburbs or estates will have them, and it is a free way of getting your message out there. I've done it myself with a couple of businesses in the past, and you can have some success with that. So what you do is you create a post as your business, and then having joined lots of these groups as you as an individual, you share your post into those groups. So it's a free way of sort of ingratiating yourself, getting yourself into those groups and getting your offers out there. It can work. I know, the sorts of businesses, plumbers and carpet cleaners and the rest of it can do quite well out of that. But it's a lot of hard work. And because there are so many offers being put onto those pages every day, really, to stand any chance of being seen, you need to be posting 2 or 3 times a day. Anyway, conscious of time, moving on to the paid ads platform. It's a fantastic way of being really specific with your targeting and delivering some really targeted advertising to your target customer. But it's a very steep learning curve, and it's also a fantastic way to spend a lot of money for no return if you don't know what you're doing. So I would strongly recommend, if you are thinking of doing advertising on Facebook, you get an expert's help. For that reason, I'm not going to go into massive detail, but one thing that I will say is that partially because there's a lot of competing ads out there, and that's only going to get worse, it's getting harder and harder to get people to engage. So whereas you might be able to get people to engage on your initial ad, now you've got to work a lot harder and spend a little bit more money to get that same level of engagement. That's only going to get worse with GDPR, because I think what's going to happen there is a lot of businesses with big email databases find that few people re-opt in, and post-May, when GDPR comes in, they're going to be trying to build their database back up as fast as they can, and the way that they do that will be throwing a lot of money at Facebook advertising to re-engage with customers and get them to opt back into their list. Net result of that, more competition for Facebook ad real estate, therefore the prices are likely to go up. So that's just something to be aware of. In terms of how you should go about advertising, as with many things these days, video is very important, but video also means you can see who's watching your video for, say, 25%, 75% of the time, and you can retarget them. And that's a really good way of finding out who your potential target audience will be. Conscious I've just gone over the magic 10-minute limit for LinkedIn, so there we go. But I want to continue with this point. So one of the reasons I'm doing this video series is to get over my hoodoo of doing video. Another is because it's one of the best ways to get engagement on Facebook, on LinkedIn and the likes. And one thing I just mentioned there, and I can expand upon it a bit more now. It used to be, and this is all based on the assumption that good marketing is not just putting an ad out there saying buy my stuff now, because most people aren't in the market to buy your stuff now, so you've got a greater chance of that not hitting the right target customer at the right time than hitting. So don't just put your buy my stuff ads out there. What you should be doing is getting the interest and attention of your target consumers perhaps before they're ready to buy, and then engaging with them and building that relationship with them over time, so that when they are ready to buy, they think of you. So with that in mind, a lot of people were, as I said, getting email addresses so that they can email people and build a relationship that way. And it used to be that you could put a free report or a guide or a short training series or an invite to a webinar or something like that, and people would be happy to give their email address, and ka-ching, you've got an email and you can start targeting them. Now it is becoming increasingly difficult to get that just in the first hit, and what you have to do is potentially engage with them a couple of times before they are willing to give you their details. So what I mentioned before, one thing that I'm currently doing using one of these videos is I'm running an ad using one of these videos on Facebook, and I can see that I can see who's viewing it for 3 seconds, which basically just means they're sort of hovering over it in the news feed, or 10 seconds. And that's how Facebook charge you. They charge you per 3-second or 10-second view. And actually, it's a really cost-effective way of advertising on Facebook. It costs me, for every 3-second view, I think 1p, and for every 10-second view, something like 4p or something like that. But what you can then do is you can have a look at who's been viewing your video for, say, 25% of the video, or 75%, or even 100% of the video. Now, obviously, the more they view, the lower numbers you're going to get. But what Facebook then allows you to do is to pull those people to one side, and you can retarget those people who viewed your ad for 25% of the time with another ad. So expanding on what you said before. So using my example, I'm using my first video, which talks about having a written marketing plan, and then I'm retargeting people who've viewed that on the ad 25% or more with another ad which continues the theme of talking about marketing plans, and it directs them to my blog post about the benefits of having a marketing plan. I can then obviously see who's gone to that page, and there are links on that page to downloading my 10-minute marketing plan. But if they don't do that from the blog post, I can then use Facebook to target the people who have viewed the blog post with another ad, and that way you are building the relationship, and they're learning that you do know what you're talking about, and building the trust, and then you'll be able to serve them up with an offer. So that's almost 3 stages to achieve what you potentially could have achieved in one hit 5 years ago. There is a cost implication of that, although doing it in the way I've said, using a video as the starting point and then refining down the audience in that way, it does mean your costs are reduced, as that's quite a cost efficient way of doing it. Another benefit of LinkedIn, of Facebook, is that you can use the people who've either clicked on your web page or your blog post or viewed your video a certain amount of time And when you get up to a certain number, then you can say to Facebook, you go away and have a look at all the characteristics of these people that you know about, and you apply those filters to everybody else in the UK, for example. So you can go from an audience of a few hundred people who've bought a product or been to a web page or viewed a video, and you can basically create what Facebook call a lookalike audience and go from a few hundred people to, well, at the 1% level on Facebook, you'd be talking in excess of 400,000 people. And they will closely match the profiles and interests of the people who've responded to you before. So that's quite a powerful way of using the small numbers you have to create a highly targeted audience, which actually works out cheaper in the long run than just going through Facebook's targeting options. Again, you know, Facebook advertising, it's a very powerful thing. It's ever changing. What works now in March of 2018 is unlikely to work in the same way in 3 months or 6 months time. So I don't really want to get into too much in terms of specifics because it's ever shifting sands. But I think the key things to take out of this are posting from your Facebook business page. You should do that, but you shouldn't do that with any great hope that it's going to reach lots of people, even people who have liked your page. And as time goes on, the number of people it's going to reach organically is going to fall. It's less than 1% now. That's according to Facebook numbers. So it's only going to get worse. So if you are thinking of using Facebook, and I think a lot of businesses would get benefit from doing that, you have got to commit to spending some money. I had a conversation with a client yesterday, and I basically, you know, laid it out in very strong terms that, you know, it's something that they need to jump in sort of with both boots to do and commit an amount of money, because one thing's certain with Facebook, you don't necessarily get it right first time. So it's a case of testing and refining, and quite frankly, you know, spending 30 quid a month, you're not going to get a huge amount of information or learnings from that. You are going to need to commit to perhaps spending not thousands, but certainly hundreds, to get to the stage where you know what you're doing and you know what works. So I think that's all I'm going to say on Facebook advertising at the moment. It's a good thing. It's really powerful if you do it right. It's a fantastic way to relieve yourself of a lot of money for no return if you get it wrong. So again, don't just flounder around blindly doing it. There are courses available. There's some very good courses for not a massive amount of money on Udemy. So I'd strongly recommend, if you're not going to go down the route of seeking professional help, then certainly check out one or more of the Udemy courses. If you've not come across Udemy before, then you should certainly check it out. There's some really good courses which you can pick up for, if there's an offer on, as little as 10 quid or 30 quid. Hi there, I think I ran out of space on my SD card, so the filming stopped. Anyway, I'll wrap this up. I think I was saying, if you are going to go about advertising on Facebook, either seek the help of a professional, but if you do that, be mindful that in addition to the ad budget, they are going to charge you for management of the account, and they are going to be charging, let's be realistic, hundreds of pounds a month to do that, which can represent good value if they know what they are doing, and they will give you a positive return on investment. But obviously you need to be prepared to commit to paying them for their services. If you aren't able or willing to pay for someone to professionally look after your Facebook ads account, then I think I was just saying before it cut off, Educate yourself using a course. I am a great lover of Udemy for online courses. There are a number of very good Facebook advertising courses on there, which you just do online, and yeah, so I would do that. Don't just blunder into spending money on Facebook without either getting professional help or educating yourself, because that is likely to end in expensive failure. So that's it for me on Facebook advertising. Tomorrow I think I'm talking about LinkedIn advertising. Hope you found this useful. If you want to talk to me about Facebook advertising in more depth, then happy to do so. Just get in touch by all the normal methods. Thanks, cheers, bye.